What is up, obscure mic people? It's Bark coming at you yet again with a USB/XLR dynamic end address yet square microphone supreme. And it is the Fifine AM8. 50 to 60 bucks typically. 50, 60 bucks. I've lost the box, which is a terrible thing. But even though I lost the box, I'll still tell you, it came with a bass stand and it came with a USB A to C adapter cable thing. 50 bucks. The stand's okay. It's like a 3/4 to 5/8 or whatever. 5/8, 3/8, 3/8 to 5/8. The 3/8 goes up in the shaft, and then there's a 5/8 threading on the outer belt of that. And I honestly, my first thoughts here are in XLR mode. This thing is clear. It's clear. It's not overly it's not sizzly, not overly sizzly or overly grainy or anything like that. It's just nice and clear. It's kind of weird that it does sound good at all because it has a plastic body. And if you tap on that plastic body, you're going to get some noise. Let's take a look at the mic real quick. Out of the box, you've got a metal yoke mount with a couple plastic tightening knobs to keep that thing in place. Or is it? We'll get to that in a minute. You've got a LED RGB button to switch between modes. I'll switch between some of those real quick. You've got like a rainbow mode that it'll switch on its own, but you can also go solid colors. And you've got a headphone and microphone volume knob. They both have quite a bit of give and wiggle to them, unfortunately, but it's 50 some bucks. On the back of the unit, you're going to see the XLR port, the USB port, and the headphone out port, which does provide latency-free monitoring if you've got a power source that will power it to get that monitoring, aka probably not a phone. All right, and again, 50 bucks, this sound, all this, SpongeBob SquarePants of a microphone. I'm not hating quite yet. On the opposite side of the mic, you've got a capacitive touch mute switch that does mute the mic on and off in USB mode. And that's pretty much it. Now back to the mic in front of me. When you take the windscreen off, you literally have a square grill. The capsule, just like the Fifine K688, is all the way at the front of this microphone. It is right freaking there. And it does have the weird velour windscreen. Let's see how that rejects plosives and such. But before I do, I've got to say, the velour windscreen kind of tames down the top end a little bit. So there's a plus with this windscreen. The knobs here for tightening, I've got my XLR cable kind of propped up on something because if I don't, that's what happens. The tightening knobs, no matter how tight you got them, this mic will get weighed down by the XLR cord slowly but surely, just slowly moving. If I just tugged on it a little, it would really move. Yeah, it's kind of hard to place perfectly, but if you've got a boom arm with the cable running through the boom arm and then into the mic with no pull or anything like that, it's going to be fine. You can also put the XLR on anything basically and you're safe, but it is kind of weird, even at 50 bucks, that you can't tighten these, which you can hear it all. Everything I touch, you can hear it. That's a big drawback, but again, let me remind you, USB, XLR, RGB, you got a capacitive mute switch. I'm not going to hate on it for 50 bucks. I actually refuse to hate on it for 50 bucks because it's clear. It sounds pretty solid for podcasting right off the rip, and that's what I do. There's a reason it's 50 bucks, and it's the shortcomings I spoke of, but I don't think that's enough to really hurt the mic too much. Honestly, you're just going to have to be careful with it. Let's go ahead and do all the testing in XLR mode. First, we're going to get right on top of the microphone so you can hear what it sounds like when you are right on top of the mic using that proximity effect, which, honest to God, sounds pretty nice. Now we're going to get back off the mic, and we're going to test this velour windscreen out by going Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pineapple pizza. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pineapple pizza. That handled Plosives really good, at least in my ears. That handled him really, really well. Let's go ahead and do off-axis rejection, turning the microphone. Well, I'm going to have to get my XLR cord here. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, no. That is why a stand like this comes in handy, to where I can take the clip of the stand and I can prop the mic up where I want it, take the clip it in like so. Now it doesn't matter. I highly suggest you get a mic stand with a clip to clip in that XLR, or to prop that up, or to have it in a boom arm. If you want to spend $50 and just get a total package all in one, you're going to have to make some things happen, make them work. But let's do off axis. 90 degrees on the microphone. You're going to hear that coming through the mic. 180 degrees on the microphone. 90 degrees on the mic, back around to the front of the microphone. Let's go ahead and test this thing out real quick in USB mode. I do want to add, I've had a heater on the whole time. I have to. It's cold in the studio. If you hear any hiss or anything like that, be assured it is the heater. The microphone's running into the Focusrite Vocaster 1. No processing, nothing like that. On to the USB test. All right, now we have the microphone in USB mode running directly into my Motorola Edge 2022. This is what it sounds like. The headphone monitoring is working great. The lighting is working great, all off of a phone in USB mode. So if you want to do something like this and just use your phone, this is such an easy way to create content, especially if you've got like a green screen or whatever. Like, you can create some pretty cool content with a $50 mic and your phone. So this is the mic in USB mode. Let's go ahead and do the tests real quick, and then we'll get back to XLR mode. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pineapple pizza. That velour windscreen really does work pretty well. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pineapple pizza. Now when you get right on top of the Fifine AM8, this is what it sounds like when you are right on top of the Fifine AM8. Now we'll go ahead and do off-axis rejection. Talking 90 degrees right into the side of the microphone. Now we're going to turn the mic around to 180 degrees and speak into the rear of it, and get myself all Mace Windu'd here with some purple light. Now we'll turn it 90 degrees yet again, and then slowly back around town to the front of the microphone. Again, you touch this thing, it's going to go. But the problem we have with the XLR cable weighing down the mic and moving it, we don't have that issue with the USB cable. So not going to happen here. Maybe if you use this mic in XLR mode, you just go with a cheap, light XLR cable, something thin wired. Most of them work. Very rarely have I got interference, no matter what cable I'm using. Just something to keep in mind. But USB mode, I think it still sounds pretty good. Definitely a cool microphone to just run into your phone and go. Like I said before, because I am repetitive, let's get back to the XLR portion of the video. All right, now that we've done all that, we're going to go to the BBSAR. We're going to also keep in mind that this thing was $52. Also, Fifine did send it over to me for the sake of the review. They did send it over. They don't want me to prop it up and say great things about it. I'm sure they do, actually, but they wanted my honest opinion in exchange for the microphone. I appreciate that. They send me everything they got. Always appreciated, because I often find value in a lot of their products. So this thing you can get for $50. Handles Plosives like a champ. It's clear and present, and I kind of like it. Kind of like the sound. Not going to lie. I do not hate the sound whatsoever. I think it sounds really good for podcasting. I think this is a podcasting super deal. Now, even though it's $50, we cannot ignore the shortcomings. I'm okay with the shortcomings because that's what makes it $50, but I'm not going to ignore them. The plastic body is noisy to touch. You can't touch this thing. You just can't. The knobs, they don't really do much. They don't keep it tight. You've got to dictate the position of the mic with your XLR cord placement. That, man, if these knobs would just hold the mic in place, the score would be higher. 100%. But the most important thing of a mic is the sound. I like the sound. I like the fact that you can go USB and XLR in such a cheap device. I think that's really cool. On the BB-SAR, this microphone, I cannot ignore the $50. Just can't. I can not ignore the problems, but my God, I can't ignore $50. I kind of like the sound of this, and the Plosive Rejection is fantastic. So for that, I'm going to give the Fifine AM8 a score of a 7. It gets a 7, which I think's good. It's a good buy. It's a really good buy, especially if you need a mic and it's your first mic. I think this is a killer deal for $50. You've got gain control and headphone volume control. I think overall, this is a really cool freaking mic for $50, and I may keep it. I seriously may keep it. Like, very few mics are perfect. This is not perfect by any means, but my God, for $50, if I just want to get a good sound, set it up, get it to where I'm not going to touch it, bump it, make a bunch of noise with it, and record, I kind of like it. I can't lie. Kind of like it. It's got shortcomings, but, you know, I've always kind of liked the girl next door. That kind of, you know, I don't like perfection. I like flaws. I like, you know, I like a little roughness, a little rough around the edges. And this mic's a little rough around the edges, but when it comes down to it, she can get it. She can get it. Fifine AM8 is out of here. Mark is out of here. Thanks for watching another video. I will see you guys on the next one. Obscure mics. Peace out.